What a night of fights, people. Bivol versus Beterbiev just finished, and just a quick late night reaction to it. Was it a robbery? Quick answer, nah, I don't think so. Rather than long it out throughout the whole video. Now, it was a very good fight. Well, actually, you know what? It's a little bit of an underwhelming fight, if I'm perfectly honest. I wouldn't have complained if it was a draw. I wouldn't really have complained if Bivol won, but personally, I had Beterbiev up by 2 rounds. But a very lackluster performance from Beterbiev. He looked slow. He looked old. He looked like something was wrong. I would say he looked injured. Yes, Bivol is a much better operator, much than some of the opposition he's faced before. But Beterbiev wasn't seeming to do what he usually does. He didn't go to the body nearly as much as he could have. I saw a lot of openings which he could have gone to the body, and he didn't. The first few rounds, it seemed like Beterbiev just wasn't giving 100% behind his punches. He was throwing a lot of tippy-tappy shots, but wasn't actually throwing with a lot of power or malice, even throughout the whole fight. I can only count probably 2 or 3 times where he actually threw with some malice, which he usually doesn't need to have loads of wind up in his shots, but he actually throws in malice usually. It was a very strange fight for me. Wasn't going to the body where he could have. Now let's get into the crux of it. I've seen the online outrage already. People kind of crying, robbery, oh my gosh, Bill was robbed. The only thing I'll say Bill was robbed of is a fair assessment with the commentary. The commentary was shocking. It was terrible in my eyes, and it was so biased in favor of Beterbiev. And I thought Beterbiev would win anyway. Like, I wasn't rooting for either one, but that's who I thought would win. But the way they were talking about the fight, it was like Bivol wasn't doing anything good at all. Like, all of the movement that Bivol was doing was all completely negative, and it was like he was being chased around the ring by Beterbiev. I mean, like, the forward pressure was great from Beterbiev. Sorry, Beterbiev was great from him, and I think that's what won in the fight. A lot of people have cried robbery because they don't always count effective aggression and ring generalship, which was happening. Beterbiev was on the front foot for majority, maybe the whole fight more or less, other than some spots in a few rounds, and that does count towards the scoring criteria. Don't ever forget that, Bivol landed very eye-catching shots, very big, like sharp shots. But if you're talking about scoring those points, Beterbiev was still landing quite a few shots. I did feel like a lot of shots were coming off the gloves. But yeah, anyway, back to the point. The commentary team, terrible. A lot of the time, Bivol was doing certain things, and none of the positives that he was doing was actually being said. But a lot of the stuff that Beterbiev was doing was being said. Even sometimes when they weren't positives, when some of the shots were landing off the gloves, or when Beterbiev was missing, but Bivol was actually countering and connecting, there wasn't enough mention of, like, Beterbiev is missing and Bivol's actually got a very good game plan here. Let's just see if he can keep it up. And the reason, again, I don't say robbery is because towards the latter stages of the fight, Bivol couldn't quite keep it up. Around 10, 11, 12, definitely 11 and 12. He started to slow down quite a bit, and Beterbiev started to catch him with some good shots. Shots to the body, shots to the head. And that's where the clean work came in from Beterbiev. Now, I would say 7-5 Beterbiev. I think the scorecard of 116, 112 is not far too wide, but I think it's a bit too wide. I've got to rewatch the fight because, watching it live, I did say I had Beterbiev up by 2 when they were announcing it. But, you see different things watching it back. Maybe it was that wide, but I don't believe so. I think 2 rounds up Beterbiev, possibly 1 you can give an argument, or maybe a draw. But I personally, for what I like in my work, I wouldn't have argued for Bivol to have won that fight. Don't just look at the eye-catching stuff and the beginning of the fight. You have to look at especially those championship rounds. That's where things started to change a little bit and the tide started to kind of turn. That's the way I see it anyway. What did you think of the fight? Obviously, there's some amazing fights on the card. We'll talk about that more. I'll put it up tomorrow. That Fabio Clark knockout was scary, very scary. But let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.